If you were stranded on a desert island and only had access to 5 patterns, what would they be? Hey Stitches, your girl Kris here. If you're new to these parts, then welcome to my tiny space on the internet where we obsess over sewing. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm always happy to have you in my space. Now you guys, last December, my girl Rochelle of Rochelle Handmade Designs posted a video on YouTube about Pattern-Mageddon. I think that's what it's called. And it was in response to a video that was originally posted by Julie of the Curated Curvy, and they were sharing 5 patterns that they wouldn't mind having if they were stranded on a desert island. Now, even though my girl Rochelle tagged me, I couldn't do the response at that time because your girl was drowning in Vlogmas. But now the dust has settled a little bit and I figured better late than never. So for today's video, I am going to be sharing with you 5 patterns, 5 of my favorite patterns that I wouldn't mind being stranded on a desert island with. Now let's jump right into it. Pattern number 1 has definitely got to be Simplicity 8014. You guys, I love this pattern. Really love this pattern. I sewed it up 2 times way back in 2020, but I hacked the pattern on both occasions. So for my first hack, I did a double layered collar, and for my second hack, I actually altered the sleeve. So it ended up being like a 3/4 length sleeve, and at the cuff, I put grommets in it, and then I laced it up like you would lace up a corset or a pair of shoes. Now, I really love that dress, but later discovered that it was not in my colors. Now, I'm really obsessed with animal print, you guys, and I have a lot of it in my stash and in my wardrobe. But this particular animal print fabric that I used for the dress was in oranges and browns, and I have learned that those are not the most flattering colors on your girl. So I have since donated that dress. I always meant to sew the pattern up again, and I finally had the opportunity to do so in January. I am participating in Sew Lucky Jar, a challenge that has been hosted by my girl Diana of 26 by Diana over on Instagram. And the purpose of the challenge is to put patterns in a jar that you really want to sew, and then pick a pattern and sew it up. It just so turned out that my first pick from my Sew Lucky Jar was Simplicity 8014. I was stoked, really pleased that that was the pattern I was kicking off the challenge with. Now I'll go ahead and insert a picture right here so you can see how that just turned out. But as usual, if you want all the tea on Simplicity 8014, then be sure to go ahead and check out this video right here, which is a full review of the pattern. Now, every time I've made the pattern, I have made view D, which is like an A-line skirt silhouette. For view A and I think view B, there is a fit and flared type of shirt dress. So there's a separate bodice and a separate skirt that are joined together at the waistline. Whereas in view D, it's just one straight dress with a yoke in the back piece. Now I think I need to go ahead and experiment with view A, you guys. And I thought about doing it for my Sew Lucky Jar pick in January, but I just did not have enough of the fabric that I had in mind to make up this dress. Now, did I have other fabrics in my stash that I could have used? Obviously I did, but my mind was just one tracked on using this printed linen that I was gifted in Christmas of 2024. And absolutely nothing could have changed my mind from using that fabric. Now, the Simplicity 14 comes in 2 size ranges. You can get the 6 to 14 envelope or the 16 to 24, and it is only available in paper format. Now, Simplicity started introducing PDF patterns, I want to say like 2 years ago. Maybe even not that long, but this pattern is not one of them that is available in PDF. So if you want this pattern, you have to buy the paper copy either on the Simplicity website, because I checked and it is still available, or you can pick it up from a supplier which is much more local to you. Now, the next pattern I want to talk about is a skirt pattern, and the skirt that I would love to be stuck with on a desert island has to be hands down McCall's 7906. I love this skirt pattern, and I have made it 3 times, the most recent iteration being a black and white zebra print skirt. You guys, I freaking love it. Now, the first iteration I made in a black like waffle kind of textured fabric. I still have that one in my wardrobe and I wear it quite frequently. The second one I had made in a blue chambray type of fabric. And you guys, I ripped a big old hole in the front of my skirt. It got caught on a gate, and the rest was history. It was not anything that I could have mended, and I just decided to go ahead and make my third iteration, which, as I've already told you, is a black and white zebra print version. So I'll pop a picture of that one right here. Now, I don't have a full review for this pattern on the channel, well, at least not yet, but I'm thinking that I might need to add it to my list because it is a really, really good pattern. Now, it is available in 2 size bands, from a 6 to a 14 and a 14 up to 22, which means that it is a limited size pattern. Now, I really, really wish that this one was offered in a bigger size range because it is beautiful. It is a pleated skirt, it has pockets, it has carriers, it buttons down the front. It is just gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. So that one definitely would be my pick number 2. Now for pick number 3, I feel like it's imperative for me to share with you guys a trouser pattern. Now back in 2024, your girl really started buckling down on her trouser journey. Now over the course of my sewing journey, I have been fighting with and frustrated several times over with fitting a pair of trousers. Finally, last June, I was able to crack the code to basic trouser fitting. Now, I still know that there's so much more I need to learn in terms of adjusting my trouser patterns to fit my body, but at least now, you guys, I have a couple of me-made trousers, and that is really, really a proud moment for me. After years of struggling with the trousers, you guys, finally, I feel like I have redeemed myself. Now, the trouser pattern that I want to talk to you guys about today is the NH Riviera trousers. I have made these trousers 2 times, you guys, and I think I actually made them back to back. I made a version using a blue twill fabric from Minerva. By the way, I am a Minerva ambassador. If you want to go ahead and grab some fabric, some patterns, notions, kits, anything at all from Minerva, then do consider using my Minerva ambassador code. I'll put it here on the screen. If you're going to be spending your coins anyway, why not support your girl in the process? Now for my second version, I made them up using a pink and white large scale gingham fabric. Now I picked this fabric up at A to Z Fabrics in Miami when I visited, I think it was in 2023. My girl Diana and my girl Johanna took me to this mom and pop store, and I fell in love with this large scale gingham print. I had never seen, at least not in real life, such a large scale gingham, and I needed to have it. And I kept thinking, what might I want to make with it? I pulled it out of my stash on a couple of occasions and put it right back in until I landed on the NH Riviera trousers. Now, the pattern matching on those pair of trousers was perfection in my book. I really had to give myself a tap on the back when I had completed that project. Now I know you're probably curious, so I'll go ahead and drop a picture in right here, but I do have a full review here on the channel of the NH Riviera. So if you're interested in more tea, then be sure to check out my very first pattern battle series, again with my girl Diana, right here on the channel. Now the Riviera trousers are a pin-tucked wide leg trouser. It has a fly front zipper, it has carriers, and it has pockets. In my view, these trousers are the perfect work trousers. Now, I know we're stranded on a beach, and I'm probably not going to be wearing work trousers to the beach, but I didn't sense from the challenge that the patterns I chose had to be beach friendly. And so the NH Riviera trousers, in my view, are a must-have. But by the way, they also come in a shorts view. I've never made the shorts version, but I guess if I had to rock this pattern to the beach, then I could get away with wearing the shorter version of this pattern. Now, the pattern comes in a UK size 4 up to a UK 32, I think. So it is a really, really size inclusive pattern. Now we've got a dress, we've got a skirt, we've got a pair of trousers or shorts. And the fourth pattern I wanted to talk to you guys about is a blouse pattern. And I think I'm choosing the chalk and notch area blouse. Now the chalk and notch area is a relaxed fit blouse, but it does have elastic at the waistline and at the armbands. Now I have made the area up in its original version one time. I was a pattern tester for this pattern. But since then, you guys, I have made 2 other versions sans elastic. So I've hacked the pattern to remove the elastic at the sleeves and at the waistline. In my view, it looks so much more sophisticated and more chic without the elastic. Now for the size that I made, I think it might have been a size 12 or a size 14 in the CD cup. I can squeeze that pattern out of like a yard of fabric. I think one of my versions, which I made in a Liberty silk print, I only had 1 meter of that fabric and I was able to squeeze out this pattern even though I was not able to pattern match it down the center back. That was small potatoes in my view because I love, love, love that blouse. Now the area is available in sizes 0 up to 32 with 2 bust cup options, an AB cup and a CD cup. So well done Chalk and Notch for having a size inclusive pattern and also for providing us with some bust cup options. Now, all of the patterns that I have shared with you guys so far have been designed for woven fabrics, but my 5th pick, you guys, has been designed for knit fabrics only, and it is actually a swimsuit pattern. You're probably wondering at this point, who are you even talking to? The reason being, when I made my very first swimsuit back in 2023, I hated it. I made the Megan Nielsen Cottesloe swimsuit, and even though it's wearable, it wasn't finished as neatly as I would have liked. And even though I had made attempts at adjusting the pattern, I still found that it was a little bit too long in the back of the torso. After making up the first swimsuit, I was like, I'm not making any more swimsuits. If I want a swimsuit, I can buy it from a shop. Fast forward to 2024. In 2024, I went on a trip and picked up some swimsuit and fabrics in Antigua. And I just caught the swimsuiting bug. I'm like, I'm going to try this again. And I did. Again, I didn't love it. This time I used a new look pattern and I was like, the elastic guide was so far off that the first time I made the pattern, it was really, really loose around the midsection. And I'm like, I'm not going to let it defeat me. I'm going to try again. And I made a second iteration. Now, truth be told, I was really proud of the second iteration. It fit so much better than the first iteration. And at this point, I started thinking, okay, swimsuit making might not be as difficult as I once thought. Then I skipped forward and I made the Edgewater Athena using 3 different black and white fabrics, you guys. Now, I really enjoyed the process of making the Edgewater Athena, but I did not so much like the fit of it. Because it has like a very deep like U shape at the neckline, it meant that it was quite prone to nip slips. I don't know if it's a case where I hadn't chosen the right size, or maybe I needed to make an adjustment that I don't have a clue about. I don't know. It fit me well standing up, but when I was moving about, my girls were falling out of that pattern. But since I enjoyed the construction of that pattern, I thought maybe I could give another Edgewater swimsuit a try. So finally, I'm getting to the point. The next Edgewater swimsuit that I tried was the Edgewater Frankie. I made it up as my very first make for Fabric Roulette. Now, if you have no idea what Fabric Roulette is, I am hosting a challenge here on YouTube and over on Instagram throughout the year where I have selected 12 fabrics from my stash with the help, of course, from my husband and my daughter. I have put all 12 fabrics into a digital wheel using pickawheel.com, and every month I'm spinning the wheel, and whichever fabric it lands on, that's the fabric that I'm going to sew up for the month. Now, I have been encouraging my viewers to get involved in the challenge. Even if you don't have enough fabrics or you're not minded to do one every month, maybe consider doing it once a quarter. The aim of the game is to get our fabrics from our fabric stash into our closets. Now, That feels like I've told you guys a mouthful without actually getting to the point. Now, the point I'm making is the Edgewater Frankie would be the fifth pattern that I wouldn't mind having if I was stranded on a remote island. Now, the Frankie is a one-piece swimsuit, perfect for your girl who has a little too much fat around her midsection. I really don't like showing it off, and I felt like the Edgewater Frankie was really flattering on my body shape. It does have optional ties, which I used on both, yes, both of my versions, and I loved them. I really enjoyed rocking my swimsuit, and that says a lot. Now, it comes in two different size bands. There is an extra small up to a double XL, then it switches to numerical sizing from a size 12 up to a size 22. Now, this swimsuit also has two different bum coverages. There is a cheeky bum coverage, and then there's a full bum coverage. Needless to say, your girl went ahead and did the full bum coverage for both of her makes. Now, there are also two bust cup options. There's a standard cup and there is a double D bust cup option. So if you are a little bit more well endowed and you refrain from making swimsuits because they don't fit your bust properly, then perhaps you might want to consider making up this pattern. Now, something very unique about this swimsuit, at least in my opinion, because I had never seen that before, is that this swimsuit has bust darts, you guys. And I thought that this is so cool. I've never seen a bust dart in a swimsuit before. And it really did improve the fit of the swimsuit around the bust line. Again, I would 10/10 recommend the Edgewater Frankie. Now, I do have a review of the Frankie here on the channel. If you are curious, you want more tea, then run on over to this video right here. You can see iteration number 1. I didn't share iteration number 2 in that video because at the time of recording it, I hadn't made iteration number 2 just as yet. But now I have, you guys. I sewed up a second version of this pattern on an Instagram live with my girl Diana. Now, I decided to make my second version using black and white fabrics. In fact, all of the fabrics had been left over from other makes, and it came together so good. It looks elevated, it looks sophisticated, it looks chic. At least it does in my opinion. But be sure to go ahead and leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of my Edgewater Frankie swimsuits. Now, you guys, those are the 5 patterns that I would not mind getting stranded with on a deserted island. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on any or all of these patterns. Do you have any? Have you sewn any? Would you be interested in sewing them up? Let's move the conversation to the comment section. Now, before I go, since my girl tagged me in this series, I figured I may as well go ahead and spread the joy and tag 2 of my YouTube sewing sisters. So the first one that I'm going to tag is one of my biggest motivators and supporters, and that is Zelda of Zelda Sews. If you're not following Zelda, then definitely go ahead, have a peek at her channel, hit the subscribe button, and let her know that I sent you. Now, my second sew sister that I'm tagging is Talisha of Creativity by T. Talisha has amazing style. I think she has some really good pattern and fabric pairings, and I would be interested to see what 5 patterns she wouldn't mind being stranded with. So ladies, go ahead and post your videos, and maybe you might want to consider carrying on this train that started with Julie, was continued by Rochelle, and has now ended up in my hands. Now, if you have gotten this far in my video and you're not yet a subscriber, please do consider subscribing on your way out. Your subscriptions cost you absolutely nothing, but they do help your girl to grow her channel and to spread some more sewing joy throughout the YouTube streets. Now, that is all I needed to share with you guys today. So until next time, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely keep sewing. Peace.